applicant. We have a quorum.
Recording in progress.
Did I get started too soon?
You're good.
Yeah.
Are we good?
Yeah, we're written it down. Great.
Okay, approval of the previous meeting minutes.
Make a motion to approve those. Minutes from the previous meeting.
I will second. So that's approved because there's only two of us here. Old business, Scott. Elm Street.
Okay, have we had a chance to go down to look at the project?
I've been, yes.
So right now they've got the main line in and then they put in the, yard drains. Remember on the, to be on the east side. We put in some yard drains and then also, in the field, we did some field engineering and put two more field drains in on the west side. That's the heavy storm that we had. We decided to go ahead and just put those drains in because there was so much standing water. We thought safer thing to do would put those drains in. So, we did hit rock, about $80,000 worth of rock, on a 400 and some odd $1,000 project. So it's going to be pretty substantial. That, and then there's going to be some extra stone because of that, hitting that rock. We haven't determined how much stone we're going to have for backfill that we're going to have to use. The only thing left other than, the landscaping and that sort of thing is we decided, if you remember, we call it it's the laundromat house or the pink house. The last one on the left as you're going out of town at Main Street, right there at Kyle. It's the last house and it's sort of that has an angle on the property. It's where that road.
Yeah, the old laundromat.
The old laundromat, right? When we were kids, there was a laundromat there, right?
Where Ed Ray used to live.
Just down from where you grew up.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so we decided to go ahead and put a manhole with an inlet in that drive. And then a line to the existing inlet. Now note this, that in the next phase of construction for that's done around the Elm Street and Main Street area, we're going to permanently connect that up. So it's a temporary connection to the existing inlet, and then when we reconstruct that, that'll be a new inlet put in. So I think it's going pretty good. You know, there was the contractor had the tree people come in and take out a lot more than was anticipated, and so we're gonna have to replant some trees for some people. But that's about it. We got one more pay item, I think.
One or two.
Yeah. So, that's all I have, unless you guys have any questions on that project.
I had somebody, not mentioning his name, ask about the location of his tap. It's not the lowest part of his backyard. What I'm calling the tap,
The yard drain?
yes.
Okay.
Why is it not at the lowest? I thought that was part of,
Well, I
when
don't,
we were reviewing this whole thing to start with, we wanted to make sure it was in the backyard at the lowest point.
I don't know what property it
Be,
is. Is it one on the east side or west side? Pelton Avenue side or?
yes, Pelton Avenue side.
Can the lowest point be still along the railroad bed or is it farther into the property?
Is it that, did they place it so that it would pick up?
I have not been down there to look at it.
We can look at it.
Okay, it would be the Barger residence.
I'm trying to remember.
Garage sets down low.
Oh,
Where you have
did he want it deeper into the property?
Yes.
He can tap into it and there's a stub off in that yard drain that he can connect to. So if he wants to pump something or connect a further yard drain,
Okay.
we just felt like we shouldn't go too far into yards.
Okay. Can somebody follow up with that?
you know, he's.
I know, I'm just,
We've already had those discussions.
I'm just reporting what,
The other thing to know is everything we're putting in is perforated pipe too. So, there is a lot of overkill. And that this pipe, the pipe is huge.
that's
Yeah,
all I have.
yeah, the main line's perforated too, all the drain lines are perforated.
New business, MS4 general permit annual report.
I'll step aside.
Yeah, so what used to be called the Rule 5 permit, item has now updated to the municipal separate stormwater sewer system general permit. It is a 5-year program. It cycles every 5 years, and we are now currently in year 3 of that 5-year period. So with us today, we have our consultant, Andrew Utz, and he is also from Commonwealth. So we have worked with Andrew and then his partner Brady Dryer. They've been our main stormwater consultants here for the past, say, at least 5 years. Yeah, 5 years.
5 since I was left.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
So-
exactly.
Yeah, they are wonderful. They really do a great job holding our hands, helping us. We not only with this new general permit, we not only had a lot of new ordinances and processes that we had to put into place. We've been able to knock out some of those big ones here the last couple of years. But we also have public outreach and education component, a part of this general permit, as well as mapping and visual site inspection. So that being said, I'm going to turn this over to Andrew, and he's going to present the annual report. So this report reflects all of what we did in 2023. We had filed this probably around March, April of this year, and yep. And so he's going to share with you all what went into that report.
Andrew, if you don't already have it in the report, if you could, because Aaron's new.
Yeah.
Explain what this permit allows us.
Right, so this is a new MS4 permit, so this allows the city of, or sorry, the city, I'm so used to it now. The town of Pendleton to address stormwater concerns that are owned by the town. So if people are discharging illicitly, say they're dumping paint down into the storm drain or adding other pollutants into the storm drain, it also controls construction site runoff. And it also controls any stormwater measures that are installed after construction, such as detention basins, aqua swirl separator systems, and the like. And it also gives the town goals to maintain cleanliness in their own facilities. So it doesn't also apply to residents, commercial, it also applies to the town as well. So this is just an overall, here's what your stormwater is doing and what we expect from the state side.
Okay.
So every year, IDEM is requiring us to put together an annual report that goes over the previous calendar year's events, broken up into what they call minimum control measures. There are 5 of these, the minimum control measures. There's an education portion, there is a illicit discharge portion, a construction site, a post-construction, and then a good housekeeping portion. So we take this form here, which was new for us this year from IDEM, and try to summarize all of the things that the town was doing over the past 12 months and give it to them so that way they can review and do a quick look over to make sure that we are in compliance with our new permit. We worked with, of course, Denise and Jim Cook to put this together, as well as some input from Scott. So we've been working on this throughout basically Q1. This form was submitted. It was signed by Marissa Skaggs, and it was submitted March 28th to IDEM. The deadline to submit these is always April 1st, so we're well ahead of that. To go quickly through this, the first section here, of course, is just general information. Who's your MS4 coordinator? That is Jim Cook. Who's your overall MS4 operator? That is the sitting, we call the town council president. So whoever is in that seated position, they're usually given that title of MS4 operator there to oversee everything and sign off on things. If you want to slide to the next page here.
Yeah.
This page here is just summarizing our education and outreach. So this is our residential, our commercial, and our developer education standards. Lots of events that Pendleton does is with the Madison County Stormwater Quality Partnership. So anything that the partnership does throughout the county also counts for the town's events that they complete throughout the year. So we had like multiple events. We had 6 events for residents. We are working to develop a new commercial outreach program with the county health department while they do restaurant inspections. So we can provide a brochure with those restaurant inspections for, say, dumpster cleanup. And then we also conducted a workshop for developers countywide, actually here in Pendleton last, I think it was February, was it? It was a cold day, I remember that. So that was a developer workshop to explain to all of your developers, obviously the town here is exploding, so we want to make sure that they understand the rules and regulations of the county and the town while they're working. So that summarizes a lot of what's going on here. This board meeting is actually part of this reporting process. We are to present to you at least once a year what has been going on with stormwater, so that way you are up to date as well as everybody else in the town. If you want to scroll to the second page. Here is our illicit discharge program. This is again detecting if somebody is dumping things into our stormwater system and polluting directly into the local rivers and receiving streams. So if somebody sees, you know, a 55-gallon tank being upended into a stormwater drain, somebody washing paint into a stormwater drain, or if you see runoff from a commercial site onto a stormwater system, this is where the town has the authority to go in and address this infraction, which was actually updated in the new ordinance as of last November. So that was a big stormwater system ordinance update. Was the first week of November, I believe.
Early December.
Early December. So that went into effect and allows the town and you all to address any infractions that you see that concern your stormwater system health and surrounding stream health in that regard. However, we did not see anything like that this past year, which is very good.
I'll take it on there.
Right? So you can move on to the next page here. This is our construction portion. So with all the development going on around Pendleton, each of these construction sites have to have a construction permit with an erosion control program depending on their size. I know the town here coordinates with the Madison County Soil and Water Conservation District to do permitting and as well as inspections. And I know working personally with Jim Cook that he does a lot of drive-by inspections, talking with the developers to make sure silt fences are up, that their construction entryway isn't tracking dirt throughout new clean city streets and the like. So we've only received one complaint, which I believe was addressed by Jim, if not Denise. We mostly go out, we have verbal warnings, we've issued notices of violation. The new stormwater ordinance has a construction portion which allows, if you distribute a permit, you're allowed to then you have the authority to enforce the permit. So there are different levels of enforcement now in the new ordinance that was passed last year.
Can you go over real quick? 2 seconds, what
Sure.
type of those enforcement?
So this is escalation. So we have a verbal warning, we have a notice of violation letter that is sent out to the owner of the project. In addition to that, there are civil penalties, there are fines, there is stop work orders as well. So this
So that's-
allows,
Okay, I just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure that was.
yeah, stop work orders I know are big ones. That way you guys can say, hey, if you guys keep going on this, we're done. Until you fix it.
And the one we had only took a phone call, so
Yeah.
they quickly addressed.
Right. And usually that's all it takes, so. Following that is the post-construction side. So a lot of these HOAs, they are put in, they have a detention basin that usually has a fountain in the middle because everybody likes a water feature. But this is also to capture stormwater when it rains and hold it and then disperse it or let it dry out eventually. So what the town is in charge of is inspecting those on the permit rotation. So that town needs to go out and inspect all of these different areas make sure that they're in good standing condition. They're not overgrown, the outfalls or intakes aren't overgrown or damaged. And that allows us to then continue to promote stream and stormwater health. So I know there are a couple ponds that were installed. The Three Rivers Credit Union has a new pond in front of it that you guys have, I know, inspected multiple times throughout the construction cycle. Now it's part of this post-construction cycle that just needs to be looked at once every 5 years at minimum. We move on here. So the final part here is what they call the good housekeeping portion. This is when your facilities, the town facilities, if there are harmful chemicals stored on site, they have a containment system. There is a spill response plan at these sites. There is at least a quarterly inspection completed to make sure that everything is kept clean and cased in some cases. I know, Donnie, we've been through a couple site walks together with that. But this is also including any training that the town employees do, including the MS4 coordinator, Denise included. There's a lot of training that has to go on. Any spill control training that goes on annually for any town. So make sure that the town is in cooperation with that for the IDEM permit.
So question for you,
Sure.
since I have summer help comes in. and
Yes.
I review what my policy is about spill cleanup and all that, I should be documenting that?
You should be, yes. You can just have a sign-in sheet and keep it with the facility documentation. Or give it to Jim and he'll keep it for you.
Okay, because the park has never kept
Right,
anything, so,
right. So if as long as you have it somewhere
okay,
and that it is accessible when requested by IDEM, that is all that matters.
okay. So all I gotta do is get people to sign in then.
Yeah,
Done.
sign in, make sure you have a date on it, and then go from there.
All right.
Yeah. If they're not seasonal, I know you guys have your annual training videos and the like that you have to sign in for anyway. That's already tracked. I know Denise, you said that's already tracked in some way. So that's already taken care of. If it's a seasonal, guys, make sure they have. a
As I
sign-in
said, my
sheet.
seasonal guys don't do that.
Right.
We can make those available to them if you'd like. We could.
They don't.
Copies, but,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I
think
get it.
You want them to get going?
You think Jabo's gonna do that? Really?
They don't want to sit down. They want to get working.
That's right. Oh, yeah, it's fine.
If you pay.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to Jabo.
So the final, couple final pages here, there's section 7. We've been speeding through here, I know. There is this last portion here that IDEM has added to this annual report. So this section is what I will call the bragging section. This allows the town to put in anything that wasn't captured earlier by the requirements of the permit, anything above and beyond that the town has been doing, that has been working in implementing their stormwater program, any highlights you want to make, as well as anything that has been a struggle. It allows feedback with IDEM. IDEM is intending for this to be a feedback program, so that way they don't have to do it with their audit, which is done every 5 years. Now it's annually. At least you have something written down, so that way IDEM can look and say, hey, you've been having trouble with this every time. How can we help you? Allegedly, that's how it's going to be working. Because this is the first year, we haven't seen the results of that yet. With that, we've inquired with that item about what the next permit cycle is going to be. I know we're halfway through this permit cycle, but that always means that the next one is upcoming quickly. What is that going to mean for the town? Are any standards or regulations going to change in that new permit period? So until that question is answered, we have nothing for you right now in that regard. Do you have any questions on this annual report?
No. Looks good.
That's what we strive to do. Well, thank you.
I think we're pretty.
Yeah. Thank you for
Of course.
sharing. Okay. Anything else?
Oh, the agenda, is that what you mean?
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it back in. No,
No, sir, that's it.
no.
Oh, I do have one more. So, if you're curious what's going on over here in front of Falls Perk, that's what we call a minor stormwater project. It's, low cost. A lot of times we just do it on our own. And, So there's been constant problems around that area. I think there's probably an, maybe an underground spring.
I'm sure there is.
Something that was usually collected by, the old sanitary lines was never replaced. That was cut off. It has to flow somewhere. It's been flowing into the basement, not the corner house that Tammy Steele owns, but the next one this way on the south side.
Bruce Ring's property.
Well, not Ring property. Upton's had it for a while.
Oh, next door to Bob Jones.
Next door to Bob Jones.
Yes.
They were discharging into the sidewalk and a lot into the street, and that was freezing, breaking up asphalt. And of course, it was a safety hazard. So, Ricky and crew put in some lines, picked that up and took it to the corner out here on Pendleton Avenue. So it still continues to be a problem. Brinks continue to have water. So instead of them discharging onto the sidewalk, which is high pedestrian area, cut out the ice potential. We are taking that underground. We're going all the way up to the Owens building. And then capturing his water also, and then, it'll be a 6-inch line, not a lot of fall and not a lot of cover, but we're gonna make it, take it to the corner of Pendleton Avenue. So that's a nice little minor project, and we've been doing 2 or 3. It's paid for by this, stormwater fee. This one's not gonna cost that much, the concrete cutting is expensive. That is
I will adjourn then. Thank you.
adjourned. Thank you, Andrew.
Of course. Try to keep it quick and easy for you.
Yep.